Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. We are starting a new puzzle mystery quilt. It is the Fall 2023 Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Cotton Cuts. It is carnival themed, and I am going to be sewing up a small lemonade, and I'm so excited. These fabrics are gorgeous. My favorite color is teal or like greens, and I'm so excited because I love them, but these are all new colors. Like, I wouldn't normally choose brown or mustard, so I am so excited. It is going to be so much fun. Thank you for Cotton Cuts for allowing me to be an ambassador. This is my second puzzle mystery quilt being an ambassador. So if you have not signed up already, you can use my code. It's Amber Carnival, and you will receive a bonus mystery gift your first month. So let me know, have you prepaid? Are you doing monthly? What colorway? Are you doing the small size? Are you doing the large size? So like I said, I'm doing the lemonade colorway, but all our instructions are the same. So if you are also doing a small, you can follow along with me. Your fabrics will just be different, but we go by letter anyways. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think. All right, so I am so excited to be starting Lemonade for the Fall 2023 Puzzle Mystery Quilt, the theme being Carnival. This is such a gorgeous colorway. I really love teal, but I don't normally choose browns or this mustardy color, so I'm really excited about trying something different. So before I show you how to put together the clues, I wanted to talk a little bit about this paper and what comes in your package and some thread. So this little booklet is so important. It has all sorts of information inside. If you're new, tips and tricks. If you are ordering monthly, when they'll ship. There's information about Facebook groups, how to get a hold of Cotton Cuts if you need help or have a question, or if mistakes do happen, if you're missing pieces. So this is really important. But for me, the most important reason is because of this back page. So the back page has your colorway and who the fabric's by. But this here, you can see it says fabric A, B, C, D, E, F, and binding. I highly suggest taking a picture of this in case you lose this booklet, because all the clues for the size small are the same and all the clues for size large, but everybody's colorway is different. So you can see on here, this is our first clue, and it has all the different letters, so you cannot tell what fabric that is. You need this chart to be able to match it up. So before I talk more about this and how I'm gonna set everything up, if you ordered or prepaid for everything, you've received all your clues. So for right now, we only need clue number 1. So if you have ordered monthly, you should be receiving clue number 1 or have already received it. Also, the mail can be, it's not Cotton Cut's fault how long it takes for the mail to be delivered. So please understand that if you live closer to Missouri, you are probably getting your clues quicker. It can really take up to 2 weeks, so please don't be disappointed if you see some people posting immediately and your clue has not come yet. I'm actually an ambassador, and my box came after others. I literally just got it. So for our clue number 1, the great thing about Cotton Cuts as well is they always send a little bonus gift in the first month, and I believe it's usually the 5th month. So for our month 1, we have these super nice pens. They feel great. Oh, look, there's I don't know if it's gonna focus. There's some wax over the top, so you can, I think that will rub right off, so that way the ink didn't go bad. Let me see. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. I'm pulling it off with my finger. Oh, this is great. I'm a teacher, so I absolutely love pens. I can never have enough. If you're also interested, you haven't signed up yet, and you use code Amber Carnival, you will get a bonus gift on your first month.
And the other thing that I wanted to show before we start is Cotton Cuts has added on an option for a thread kit. So this is the colors for the lemonade colorway. These are all Aurifil thread. I'm really excited. I'll show this so you can see. It is, does it say? This one I thought was, is it 45 weight? I'm not really sure. I have to look at it more. But I've never used Aurifil. I'm really excited to try this. Normally I am a bag maker, so I use polyester or nylon thread, but I've heard amazing things. So I am going to be using this white in my bobbing and my top thread for all my piecing. And I'm definitely going to be saving these beautiful colors for the actual quilting. So if this is something that you would like to use, you can add that on to your order. Put these to the side. Okay. Now the other thing before we begin, I want to show you how I always set up my my table. So this is my third quilt with Cotton Cuts. It's my second one as an ambassador. My first one I did just as a regular participant, and I absolutely love it because everything is already cut for me, has everything nicely labeled. I don't have to think about anything. I literally can just come to my sewing machine and do my favorite thing, which is to actually sew. So on the bottom here it says pieces in this pack, and you can see A, B, C, E, C, C, all different ones, and it shows how many pieces you should have. So I always lay out my pieces exactly like this on my table, so when it comes time to read the directions, I know exactly which ones I need to pull from. So I'm going to show you how they do that. So for lemonade, our fabric A is this white. So I am going to find that, and there's a lot of pieces. There are 16 triangles. So I'm going to put this stack together and set it right here. Our next one is fabric B, which has 8, which is this brownish mustard. So again, there's 8 pieces here. I'm going to lay that out. And then our fabric C, which for me is this gorgeous teal. Right? Yes. C. Okay. So you can see C and D are both teal. C has more yellow in it. So I always want to double check. Some of the colorways, your fabrics may look very similar, but I do not have any D fabrics down here. And that's another reason why I lay this out, because if I get slightly confused, oh, well, this one was a triangle, but maybe another one's a rectangle, and it will help me distinguish. Okay, so we'll put fabric C. Now I have fabric E, which is this gorgeous blue triangle. And then 2 fabric C's, a smaller rectangle and a larger rectangle. All right, so now you can see I have that all laid out in front of me. I have my cotton pressing or wool pressing mat, and I have a mini steam fast iron all set up. I am going to wind a new bobbin, and then I'm going to start and show you how to put this together. All right, so now we're ready to start our clue, which is Cotton Cuts words for the instructions. And you can see we are doing this small size. So I am sewing up the lemonade colorway, but even if you're not sewing up lemonade, your instructions are still the same. And you can see here that we are making 4 of the same block. You want to pay attention to this because sometimes there's different sections and you're doing like 1 and 1 or 2 or 2. So this is great because this is going to show you what it's going to look like when it's done. And the number 1 there is that way you can label your pieces, which I highly recommend because when it comes to month 10, we are going to use those numbers to put our whole quilt together, all the pieces. All right, so now on here, we start our instructions. And if you've never sewn with me before, I also go live on my social medias, which I have linked below. So we are making 4 of every one of these pieces, so we can make 4 blocks. For this tutorial, I'm only doing 1. So when I'm making 1 of something, you will want to make, whether it's 4 or 8, just pay attention to those steps, so that way you will be able to put your block together at the end, or all 4 of your blocks together at the end. Okay, so for our first instructions, step 1, it says join a small triangle A to a small triangle E. Make 4. So I am going to divide that by 4. I'm making 1 of them. All right, my fabric E is this blue fabric. So it's a blue triangle. And some of the colorways, I want to make sure that you have it right side up. They're all die cut, and you can see like these are both wrong sides together. So just double check. You don't want to just grab it off the pile. Okay, and I always lay my pieces out before I sew them, so I know that I am folding them in the correct directions. Okay, and we are going to line them up, and I'm going to clip mine together. I prefer clips. You can use pins, whatever works best for you. And we are sewing at a scant 1/4 inch. I usually just sew at a 1/4 inch. It's easier for me. The scant I always mess up. But as long as you are consistent, that's what's most important. Cotton Cuts also gives you the measurements. I usually don't measure each piece. I just put them all together, and I've never had a problem as long as my seam allowances are consistent. I might need a liter piece of fabric. These are kind of thin, and it's wanting to eat my fabric. All right, so let me just grab a scrap really quick. So I just grabbed a piece of waterproof canvas, and if yours are being pushed down into the feed dogs as well, you can sew a little piece first and then feed your pieces through. It's called a leader, and it will help so your fabrics do not get pushed down. So for me, depending on how thin the fabric is, sometimes I need to use one. Okay, so now with Cotton Cuts, they always show an arrow. That arrow is the directions that we are going to press our seams. So my fabric E is the blue. We are pressing our seams towards that way. So I always iron to give a little like memory crease, and then finger press them open. And I don't want to pull it, especially the triangles. They tend to be cut on the bias. Okay, so now our step 2, we are sewing a smaller triangle or rectangle C. So that is my teal floral pattern here, to the right of step 1. So this is the piece that we have sewn in step 1. I am attaching it to the right. I'm going to clip it in place. And the best thing about me, or what I think for cotton cuts, is that it's all die cut, so you can see that it matches up perfectly. Alright, let's see if I'm gonna need a leader again. I'm gonna try it. Alright, that worked out better. I think because there was a thicker seam underneath. I honestly really hate using leader fabrics, so I avoid them any chance I get. Okay, and our arrow is pointing towards our C fabric, so we are going to press our seams to the rectangle. All right, our step 3 uses different pieces, so I'm going to set this to the side for right now. Now I need to join a small triangle B to a small triangle A. So A again is my white fabric, and B is this mustard brown color. Okay, so again, I'm going to line them up. And clip them in place. And like I said before, this is my first time using Aurifil thread, and it seems to be working really nice. My machine seems to like it. Okay, and for here we are pressing our seams towards the B triangle, which is the brown one if you're doing lemonade, or towards the bottom. All right, and then for these, it actually says that we need to make 8 of them. So for one block, we are going to need 2. So I'm going to make a second one as well. Oh wow, I didn't realize on this fabric, it has some colorful spots also tied in. That's gonna look so nice. And I always trim my threads as I'm going, so I don't have to worry about anything else later on. And again, we're pressing our seams towards that bottom fabric, that B fabric. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side. Step 4, we are now going to take our step 3, which is the one that we just did, and attach it to the right of step 2. So step 2 was our first piece that we sewed together. So I am going to attach them here. And again, they line up perfectly, so it makes everything so easy for us. And then our seams are being pressed towards that inner C piece. So I like to press the back again and then gently open it with my hands, but without stretching. All right, and I'm going to set that one to the side because we are now on step 5 and we need to draw, combine a triangle, again our white, with a C triangle, which is this pretty teal. And we're making 4, so I'm going to do 1. We're working with a lot of triangles today. And I always hand crank my needle into my threads first. I find that it just helps me sew more accurately and helps avoid pushing that fabric down. And we are pressing our seams towards the bottom, the C fabric. Okay, so now we are sewing a small rectangle C. So again, my floral fabric to the bottom of step 5. So we just sewed these 2 half square triangles and I'm attaching the smaller to the bottom. You'll be doing this 4 times. And our arrow is pointing down, so we are pressing our seams to the rectangle. Okay, I'm gonna leave this piece here because now for step 7, we are adding our longer rectangle C to the right of step 6. So that's the piece that we just did. And we are taking our longer rectangle and attaching it here. And because I don't do scant 1/4 inch, you can see that my edges are a little bit over on each side. So I'm just trying to center it as best as I can. And I'll just either trim that or use it up in the seam allowance. And and we are pressing our seams to the right to that larger rectangle. Okay, and I am going to set this to the side. We want to take our other step 3 that we had sewn, so that AB triangle, and we are going to sew a small rectangle C to the top of it. So you should be doing this 4 times. And we are pressing our seams up towards that C rectangle. Okay, so now this looks a little bit tricky, but we are taking our step 8. So this is what we just made in step 8, and we are taking what we had made in step 7 and I had set aside. So this is step 7. We are attaching step 7 to the right of step 8, or step 8 to the left of step 7. So however you read it. So it is going to look like this. And none of these seams line up to form like a point. So again, I'm just going to align them. And clip them in place. And our seams are going to be pressed to the left towards the piece that we had made in step 8. Okay, so now we have this here. And our last step, we are joining step 9 to the bottom of step 4. So step 9 is the piece that we just sewed. And our step 4 we had sitting to the side. And you want to make sure that your fabrics are correctly lined up. For me, my E fabric is this blue fabric. So that is in the top left. And I can see that this seam here is going to line up with this one. So I am going to make sure that I align that, and you can see the directions. Our seams are going to nest with each other. So I am going to clip that first because it's really important to me that that lines up as best as possible. And then I'm going to clip my outside edges and take that to the machine. right, and our instructions want our seams pressed towards the bottom. So I'm going to press the back first and gently fold this open. You can see it shifted a tiny bit, but for me that's close enough for my point. And I'm going to press them in place. I also take this time, since this is one of our blocks, to kind of press all the seams, get them as flat as possible. Alright, and you can see here that the edge, so you can trim these a little bit. It tells you your finished block size should be 8 by 8. But again, I usually just fix it in the seam allowance. So you should have 4 of these completed, and we are done with our month 1 of Carnival.
Alright, thank you so much for joining me while sewing up month 1 of the Carnival Puzzle Mystery Quilt. You should have 4 blocks that look like this if you're doing the small size. I am absolutely in love with how this looks and all the different colors. I would love to see pictures. Let me know what colorway you're doing. And don't forget that they are now doing a Flat Nancy challenge. So make sure you read the back and you post it for your chance to win a $25 gift card from Cotton Cuts. So again, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next month. Thanks.